Hello friends, I hope that you've been well. I'm so excited to let you know that my custom paintbrushes that I'm releasing with Craftimo will be launching December 1st, so just in a couple of days. If you hadn't seen the full unboxing video, I'll have that linked in the description, but basically there's going to be 6 brushes in various sizes. They are going to be in this beautiful custom limited edition box, and they are a pastel dream. And in today's video, I'm going to be working on just a little fun sketchbook page, just showing you how versatile this brush set really is. So first is going to be using acrylic inks. If you've been familiar with my work, I tend to go back and forth on whether I do line art first or whether I do line art last in my art process. So for today's sketchbook page, I decided to do line art first. I've already done the sketch using colored pencils, but now we are going in with the 3/0 round brush, which is the tiniest, most fine line paintbrush in this set, which is perfect for, of course, little details as well as line art, which is a pretty large portion of the aesthetic of my artwork. And here you can see each line for either side of the leg was one seamless kind of like pass of color. And what is so great about this brush, as well as using acrylic inks for line art, is it's just so smooth. And I also, you can kind of see I get a variance of line widths just from kind of the difference in pressure that I have on the paintbrush, which is so great about round brushes and acrylic inks, just because they flow so nicely and it's just so satisfying to use and to watch. And as we just watch the very satisfying line art happen here, I will talk a little bit about the actual sketchbook page itself. I didn't film any of the sketching process. I just wanted to focus on the painting process for the video, but basically I wanted to just have a very low stakes, easy sketchbook creation page, and kind of took inspiration from a few older sketchbook pages that I've done in the past, where I just kind of make it feels like a Pinterest board in and of itself, basically. But in that being said, I did use a very heavy reference for this kind of fashion portrait illustration, or fashion illustration, I guess you could call it, for this character here. And that was sort of the basis of how I built the rest of the aesthetic and color palette for the rest of this page. I've been absolutely obsessed with bows for a number of years, but it's really become a staple for me in my own wardrobe and what I like to draw for my characters. And yeah, I decided to go with like a very dark blue violet instead of the black. And then where we get to the portrait on the bottom right hand corner, I used this reference photo for the like butterfly headband essentially. And then I really wanted to practice drawing braids, so that's why I decided to do that for the other kind of portrait. And of course, the reference photo that I used for the butterfly headband, it was just a plain mannequin. So I decided to, obviously make up what I wanted to do for the actual character here. And just to mix up the textures and types of hair that I had included in this page, I decided to give this character some dreads, locks. And it just is a really fun texture to experiment with, and just differentiates from the braid and then like the super kind of cropped bob of the other character. And then with the butterfly wings here, I definitely just sort of winged it, pun not intended. But yeah, I think that obviously not entirely accurate, but when you have them all finished together, you're not really paying attention to the accuracy. But I do believe that these butterflies are based off of monarchs, just based off of the pattern that I'm seeing here. I've done monarch butterflies before, so they felt kind of familiar. Then switching over paintbrushes here, now we are using the round 6. This is the largest round brush in my set of 3 different rounds, and I love that this is a little bit bigger so that it holds a lot more water and paint, and it also still has that point though so that you can get in and out of maneuvering around details. And when I was deciding what sizes and shapes I wanted for my custom paintbrush set, I pretty much just evaluated the shapes that I most used out of my, current paintbrush selection, and rounds are definitely my most used. They're just the most versatile because of the shape for the type of work that I make, which is obviously very detailed and very clean and precise. But I knew that I also wanted to make sure that it would be versatile for lots of different mediums as well. So right now I'm mostly using watercolor for this page, but these brushes are definitely very, very suitable for gouache as well, which I will show you is, I'm going to try and incorporate a little bit of that into this page as well. But if you've been following my channel for the last few months, you'll know that I've been using these paintbrushes for quite a while now, and I've done full acrylic gouache illustrations with them, and they still hold up really, really well. But they're soft enough that they're still quite flexible when using a watercolor and an ink. And if you've been with my channel for many years, you'll know that I've been using Craftimo paintbrushes for actually a very long time. The brushes that I was using prior to my own set was their bamboo brushes, and they have the same synthetic bristles, and they're just the perfect type of paintbrush to be a mixed media, in my opinion, because they have that bounce, that flexibility, but they're still like sturdy enough to hold mediums like gouache and acrylics, where it's a little bit heavier weight. And they're just, they're super durable. So like, I admit I'm not the most perfect person to clean my paintbrushes, but I find that so long as you're rinsing them out really well just with water immediately after using them, they hold up really well. And here I am using the second round brush, which is the size 3, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just an in-between size of the largest and the smallest one, just to be able to get into details that are a little bit smaller than you would need for the largest round brush that I have, but thicker than the line art one. Now moving into using some gouache, we are just using this poster paint, which is a little bit dry, so I just added a little bit of water there, and I'm going to be showing you the filbert brush. This is the size 8, and it's a flat shape with a rounded edge. And I personally love this shape for using it with gouache because, again, it's holding a lot of paint. But then because of the way that I like to paint with gouache, I like it to be very flat and even. And I find that this is a much more uniform coverage as opposed to using a round brush because of its shape. And again, I wanted to make sure I wanted a set that would be suitable for watercolors and gouache. So that's why I needed to include a couple of filberts in there, and it just has much more efficient coverage. And then, of course, for the finer details, the round brushes are still perfect for using with gouache. And when it came to the color scheme, I absolutely knew they had to be a pastel color because pastels is my favorite in terms of decor. And obviously, baby pink is very present in my work. So it just seemed like a no-brainer, honestly, to include it. But I did want to have just a point of difference as opposed to just having them all pink. So that's why the very tip of them is a light blue, and then the metal, I got to choose a rose gold, which I just felt like really suited the pastel, very cutesy element. And then we are using the smaller filbert brush, which is a size 4, to, again, great, flat, even, uniform coverage to use for this glitter acrylic gouache that I am absolutely obsessed with. It is so magical. And yeah, that is the finished sketchbook page. Something just short and sweet, super fun. I hope that I answered any questions that you might have had about the custom paintbrushes. Again, they will be launching December 1st. I hope that y'all are excited about them as I am. Obviously, no pressure if you are just not in the market for paintbrushes or if aesthetically they're just not your thing. But I do think that they are really, really pretty. And if you are into the pastel aesthetic, I think that you'll really enjoy them. And they could also potentially make for a great holiday gift if you have a artist pastel loving person in your life. But yeah, I will also be doing a live stream on December 1st at 1 o'clock Eastern time so that I can answer any of your questions in real time and also paint live with you using the paintbrushes. So yeah, thank you so much for your support and the excitement leading up to these paintbrushes launching. And I hope that y'all have an amazing day or evening wherever you're at. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.